Something happens to men when they hit 40 that nobody wants to talk about. One day, he's coaching the kids' soccer team, paying the mortgage, being the reliable husband. The next day, he's buying a sports car, hitting the gym obsessively, and texting some woman half his age. And you're standing there wondering what the hell just happened to your husband. It's happening everywhere. Millions of women are watching their dependable partners transform into teenagers with grey hair. And the worst part? Everyone acts surprised. Like we didn't see the warning signs written in his ego years ago. You think because he's been with you for 15 years, raised your kids, built a life together, that he's somehow immune. Sister, you're living in a fantasy. There's a ticking time bomb in every man's psychology, and it goes off somewhere between 35 and 45. Not might go off, will go off. Chapter 1. The Identity Collapse. The man who was perfectly content being a father and husband at 30 becomes desperately hungry for validation at 40. Every man's self-worth is built on a foundation of sand, his youth and perceived power. Be strong, be desired, be dominant. That's the programming. And for 20 years, this program runs perfectly. Then biology does what biology always does. It takes away what it gave. At 40, he looks in the mirror and sees a stranger. The body that felt powerful now feels tired. The hairline is receding. This isn't about vanity. This is about mortality staring him in the face. His entire sense of self was built on being young and strong, and now that strength is fading. Chapter 2. The Validation Trap. At 25, female attention is background noise. But when a 45-year-old gets attention from a younger woman, his brain explodes with dopamine. That single smile from a 28-year-old becomes more valuable than 15 years of your devotion. Why? Because your devotion is obligated. Her attention is chosen. Married men over 40 are the easiest targets for younger women. Not because they're bad people, but because they're starving for something you can't give them anymore. The thrill of being chosen by someone new. Your attention doesn't count because you're locked in. But that random woman at the office who laughs at his jokes, that's pure validation. And once he gets that first taste, it's over. Chapter 3. The Brain Rewiring. Here's the brutal biology lesson. A man's brain literally rewires itself as he ages. The testosterone that made him feel alive at 25. By 45, it's dropping. What used to make him feel powerful now barely creates a ripple. At 20, achieving something small felt amazing. At 40, he needs an earthquake just to feel anything. Your romantic dinner feels like routine, that weekend getaway. His brain processes it as obligatory. Those intimate moments you've perfected over years, they register like background noise. He needs increasingly extreme validation to feel anything. And you are the opposite of extreme. You're comfortable. You're safe. You're neurologically invisible. Chapter 4. The Warning Signs. It starts with the gym, not healthy exercise, but obsessive training. Supplements, mirror selfies. He's not getting fit. He's fighting time. Then come the purchases, the sports car, the leather jacket, the expensive watch. These aren't things. They're desperate attempts to feel young again. Social media becomes his hunting ground. Following young women, liking their photos. He'll say it's innocent, just networking. But you'll notice changes. He's protective of his phone. He has explanations for things you didn't question. He's either picking fights constantly or being unusually nice. Both are signs. Once a man starts down this path, there's no saving the relationship. He might come back after his adventure crashes, after the young woman realizes he's just another aging man. But it's already over. The man who comes back isn't your husband. He's a stranger wearing your husband's face. Chapter 5. The destruction pattern. I've seen it countless times. The devoted father who runs off with his secretary. The church-going husband who starts an affair with his intern. The perfect man who blows up his entire life for some woman he met at a conference. And every time, the wife says, "I never saw it coming." Really? You never noticed him staring at younger women? You never saw him obsessing over his appearance? You never felt him pulling away emotionally? The signs are always there. Modern men weren't built for long-term commitment. They were programmed for conquest, novelty, and ego validation. They were taught to chase excitement instead of building foundations. And when the excitement of marriage fades, they panic and run. Chapter 6. The truth. When a man over 40 decides to blow up his life, he'll take everyone down with him. He'll destroy the family you built, traumatize the children, sacrifice years of partnership for months of ego boost, and society will encourage it. He's finding himself, living his truth. Nobody mentions the destroyed wife explaining to the kids why daddy lives with someone younger now. Nobody talks about the children shuttling between broken homes. He'll never admit, "I destroyed my family because I'm terrified of aging." Instead, he'll create a narrative where he's the hero, breaking free from a boring marriage, finding passion. But these are lies. He chose his ego over his family. Here's what you need to understand. It was never about you. You could have been perfect, and he still would have left. His decision had nothing to do with your quality as a wife, and everything to do with his inability to accept aging. The man who swore he'd love you forever meant it. But that man was 25. The 45-year-old man wearing his skin is a different person entirely. He'll never take accountability. He'll blame you. You gained weight. You stopped trying. You weren't exciting anymore. But the truth, you represented everything he's trying to escape. Aging, responsibility, mortality. So what's a woman to do? First, recognize the signs early. If your man's entire identity revolves around youth and status, if he lives for female attention, if he can't handle aging gracefully, you're in danger. Second, understand that his leaving isn't your failure. You can't fix someone's relationship with mortality. Third, protect yourself and your children. Document everything. Secure your assets. Prepare for the reality that when a man over 40 decides to blow up his life, he'll take everyone with him. Not because he's evil, but because he's terrified. Terrified of aging. Terrified of irrelevance. Terrified of being ordinary. This isn't all men. There are men who understand that youth fades, but character endures. Who know that excitement is temporary, but building something is permanent. But these men are increasingly rare. Because everything in modern culture tells men to chase the fantasy. Chase younger women. Chase excitement. Chase validation. And when they do, when they detonate, they take your life, your children's stability, and years of building with them. Men over 40 don't just leave, they destroy. Not because they're monsters, but because they're desperate. Desperate to feel young again. Desperate for validation. Desperate to matter. And in their desperation, they'll burn down everything you built together. Don't say you weren't warned.